And now, another episode of MMA Gossip with your boys.
Boom. We're live, baby. MMA Gossip, episode number 92. Obviously, we just got two of us in the booth today. Mikey's dealing with some family stuff, so our thoughts with him. But anyways, we're back. We got a lot going on. UFC 269 is this week. Big fucking card. Some big boxing matches last week. Aldo looks like he's in prime form, so we had that last week. You know, obviously the Jake Paul, Tyron Woodley, Tommy Fury dramas going on. We say it every friggin' week. MMA, boxing, the whole fight world never sleeps, so neither do we, baby. We're back. I think we should just get right into it, dude. You want to talk about last week's card, this week's card? What do you want to start off with? I guess let's backtrack before we go forward.
Let's talk about Jose Aldo turning back the hands of time again.
Dude, he looks amazing. Like, I think now the fight he's got, I think you just do him and Dillashaw once Dillashaw is healthy. Winner fights for the belt, even if it's still Jan that holds the belt. Who gives a shit? Because the way Aldo's looked, that's just my opinion.
Well, I mean, that was as close to a wire-to-wire victory as you could get. Like, he won everything except the first 3 minutes of round one, basically. Like, he started to get his timing in round one. He hurt him in almost every single round. Like, he just beat his ass. Like, plain and simple, just a beating. Landing beated him. He was vintage.
Yeah, dude, it looked like Aldo, you know, it was like man versus child. Like, his punches had a huge effect on Font, whether it was to the head or to the body. He won everywhere. There was, I don't think it was ever in doubt. And I don't know. That made me take a big step back at Rob Font. I mean, granted, I was pretty high on Rob Font, but I wasn't like title high on Rob Font because I don't think he could ever beat Peter Yan. I think Aljo would give him actually a lot of problems. I think who else? Him and Sanhagen would be fucking sweet. Dillashaw, like I think that, you know, I could definitely be wrong. I just don't see him going much higher than he is right now.
I agree with that. And that's what that was my thoughts the same. I never thought he'd be in a title shot situation. Just because there's so many guys ahead of him, even from like a promotion standpoint, that will just kind of get the rub before he would. Like, he would have had to like emphatically finish Aldo, in my opinion, would not get close. But anyway, props to Aldo, man. I'm one of those guys that, like, when I started watching UFC, Aldo was one of the first guys I was watching. I was definitely a little late to the party. The Aldos, the J-Checks of the world, I'd like to see them get going again and have their name in the mix. It's like, what's that word? I forget the word. I can't think of it. Nostalgic, almost.
Oh,
yeah. Like when I started watching the guys dominating, now they're back beating everybody's ass again. It's cool to see. But speaking of, not technically speaking of, but speaking of beating ass, but a newer name. If you didn't know the name Rafael Fiziev, you better learn it, because that dude is a problem at lightweight.
dude, I took Riddell as my underdog because I feel like anytime Brad Riddell is plus money, it's absolutely fucking worth it. You know, got that city kickboxing experience. They had the Tiger Muay Thai. They trained together. These guys were very friendly going in. So, you know, they definitely know each other's game. Fiziev's last fight, I guess, cast not a little bit. I guess it put a little bit of doubt in my mind, but he looked fucking good, man. And that knockout was crazy. Riddell was out on his feet. And yeah, that's highlight reel stuff right there. And then they were taking pictures together after the fight. So you love to fucking see it. But now I believe they were, you know, hovering the top 10. Fiziev has to be in the top 10 now. And he's going to get a big fight next. And I'm fucking excited to see it.
Who do you think he gets next? Because matchmaking at 155, little fun.
Let's see. Let me think. I'm pulling up the rankings right now. I want to see
something crazy. I don't think.
What'd you say?
They're not going to give him somebody crazy yet.
No, but like I could see. So, well, Dan Hooker is still at 8, but he said he's going to lightweight next. 10 is Gregor Gillespie. 9 is McGregor. Obviously not. Tony Ferguson. They could do that and use.
What you say Dan Hooker's doing?
Dan Hooker's dropping to 45.
Wasn't he there already? He came up?
Yes. That's absolutely correct. Because it's funny. I was thinking that I just saw Brendan Schaub talking and
Christ, I'm sorry, that just caught me by surprise.
What?
Joel Alvarez is ranked.
Dude, I saw that too. I was actually just looking at the rankings relatively recently. I was like, holy shit. Yeah, Fizzy at 11. He jumped up to it says +3, so he's at 11 right now.
Yep.
Yeah, I thought he'd be I said top 10, but he's right there. So maybe Gillespie would be a good fight next. I could see him fighting like a Dos Anjos next. It's crazy because look, dude, Oliveira and Poirier fighting this weekend. Gaethje's fighting for the belt. Dariush is fighting Makhachev. Chandler and McGregor have been going back and forth. Yeah. And then from there, you're already at 6. So maybe he fights back again, but not too far back. You know what I mean? Like a Saryukian type of fight or something of the sort. I guess Joel Alvarez is 15. Why don't you fight Joel Alvarez? You know what I mean?
Yes. Saryukian could be a problem for him.
For sure. But you got to do it sooner rather than later. But
quick notes on this card. Jimmy Crute stink. Leonardo dos Santos, please fucking retire. Brendan Allen, I'm sorry, he might not be it. What else? Mickey Gall learned how to shoot a takedown, and that pretty much sums up the rest of the card.
Dude, that's about it. That pretty much does it.
Jamal Hill flatline. Holy shit.
That was my lock, dude. I thought that was going to go so opposite. I thought there was going to be, Jamal was going to have. What'd you say?
I thought he was going to get taken down, grinded.
I thought he was going to, at least hang on the feet and then, take him down and work from there. But clearly did not go as planned. Clearly.
Yeah.
All right, dude. I think it's UFC 269 time.
Yes, sir. Big card with a lot of big names. I'm really excited for this one. I'm going to start out. Let's see. I'm just seeing the order of the card because sometimes it's a little messed up.
I'm on the UFC website. So want me to just go bottom to top?
Is the first fight Jillian Robertson?
Yeah, and Priscilla Cachoeira.
Yeah. I mean, Jillian, I guess.
Dude, I think Jillian. Cachoeira is, hanging on to her UFC life by a thread. So Jillian Robertson minus 400. That's friggin' insane. You never see that. She's usually a girl we've described on the podcast before as afraid to get hit. I don't see that. I think that's a problem here. Her grappling is just significantly better. So Jillian Robertson.
Next up, and I love this fight, and I think that Costa might be my lock, but Randy Costa versus Tony Kelly. I think it's a great matchup for Randy. He looked awesome against Yanez until he didn't. Yanez got his timing down in that second round, just beat that ass. But if Costa could keep up that pace for more than one round, I think Tony Kelly's the perfect guy for him to beat up on. I mean, Costa, we saw his striking at its peak against Yanez. Kelly's an older guy. I think he's like 34 years old at this rate, probably, right? But yeah, man, I expect Costa to do his flashy striking, keep the pace up. I wouldn't be surprised if he finished him in the first round, but I think he'll squeeze out enough in the first two if he doesn't, and probably gas out in third. I just didn't really like. I mean, he might not even have a gassing problem, bro. He could have just dealt. He couldn't deal with Yanez's pressure in that second round because Yanez is a slow starter, but once you got that, I mean, it was a wrap.
The pace was crazy, though, dude.
It's so crazy, but I'm definitely wrong with Randy Costa here, and I actually really like this price for him. I think they're a little underselling him after that last performance. Tony, good.
Definitely. I agree with everything you said. We can just move up here. Ryan Hall, Derek Minner. I mean, Ryan Hall just does everything Derek Minner does, just fucking better, right? That's why he's minus 220.
And has a better.
Yeah, literally. Alex Perez hopefully making a big comeback. I want to see him, fighting the top of the division again. He is doing it here. Matt Schnell coming in at number 9. Again, I just think Perez is better everywhere, and Matt Schnell has that questionable chin. So I think Alex Perez is. What'd you say?
It is even questionable at this point. It's just not a chin.
Who did he fight recently where his chin held up, and I was actually pretty shocked? Let me see. I'm looking.
Because I think Mike bet on him. He said he'll always bet on Matt Schnell for some reason. Was it
Bontarine when he was eating big shots? Because my Bontarine missed weight.
Bontarine?
Was it Bontarine when he was eating big shots? Because my Bontarine missed weight. Was it Bontarine when he was eating big shots? Because my Bontarine missed weight. Was it Bontarine when he was eating big shots? Because my Bontarine missed weight.
I thought Tyson Nam too. He ate some big shots and won the 3 rounds.
He's been eating shots. He hasn't got knocked out in his last 2 fights. So
look at that coming up in the world. But
it's crazy. Dude. He's only lost by knockout 3 times, but all 3 times were brutal KOs.
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
Same. Same here.
Up next, my favorite fighter, Eric Anders. versus Nunes.
Dude, I got my I'll get on a little parlay here. Ryan Hall and Andre Muniz parlayed them together, and it comes out to plus 165. So I'm liking it. I think
dog here, man.
You wonder why? What?
I mean, I wonder why not a bigger favorite here.
That's what I'm saying. It's so fucking sketchy, dude. It's so sketchy, but
like he just stubbed Jacare. Like I know Jacare is not Jacare, but Jacare is also definitely not Eric Anders. That's the sketchiest line I've ever seen in my life. But Andre by submission.
Dude.
Up next, we got really good under the radar women's fight. Miranda shoulders Maverick as Mike Mccalhart versus Aaron Blanchfield, who was actually born in my town, trains out of Silver Fox.
That's pretty wild. And Matt, hold the phone. Just entertain our viewers. Someone's at my door. I'll be right back. Entertain the viewers.
Got it. Yeah. So Aaron Blanchfield actually trained jiu-jitsu with this guy named Jim. He's a good dude, brown belt. But his wife does Muay Thai at MK Muay Thai in Fair Lawn, New Jersey. And that is actually where Aaron fights out of. She fights out of there, and I believe her jits is out of Silver Fox, which is there's 2 locations around here. They're both really good schools. But I think Miranda's going to take this. I don't know. Miranda's really good all-around fighter. I really like her wrestling, her striking, and I think she's been tested more to date for sure, especially in her last fight. She fought somebody that I think at this point has more hype than she does success. But hold on. No, she lost to Macy Barber. That's what I thought she beat Macy Barber, and I was really mad at that decision because all of us bet Maverick. Remember that, Chris?
What?
I thought that was a bad decision against Macy Barber. I thought Miranda Maverick won.
We all did. I think we were in the majority too. I think honestly, it was like 60-40, 65-35 even.
Yeah.
So my parents are redoing our bathrooms, so we have a couple guys here just working on the bathroom. So
good, nice. Yeah, I just gave a quick little rundown on Blanchfield. She knows Jim from Sabs. Where his wife trains Muay Thai, where Blanchfield trains her Muay Thai, and she's like one of the head instructors there.
Really?
So, yeah. But I'm going with Maverick. Aside from that bias, I think Maverick's really fucking good. I think she's better than Barber. I think she beat Barber. I think she has all the makings of a problem in this division. I think she's really well rounded. She could wrestle her ass off. She could strike. Definitely going with Maverick here. And I love the price. I like too many prices on this card. I'm definitely get burned all over the place if I decide to play.
I was gonna say, have you been playing a little bit? You've been dabbling again?
I put in one parlay last week. That was the only one I put in a while because there hasn't been fights. I'll probably toss like $150 parlay out there this weekend. Dude, I don't have the urge nor like anymore to bet a fight on the card. It's just not fun.
I don't know how you did that, dude. I would bet on one fight
like 4 years.
Every once in a while. Like I would have like a good feeling about one fight, and I would just bet like a fighter's full line, And like I saw Anthony Smith. Who was Anthony Smith fighting? Oh, it was what's his name with the deer tattoo?
Devin Clark.
Devin Clark. I want Devin Clark, and he was only like minus 120, so I took his full line, things like that. Like that's probably the last time I laid a full line on a fighter was that.
I probably figure it out if I went summer, but I haven't done it in a long time. I haven't been on an individual fight in a long time, which is good.
Yeah,
but probably the worst fight on this card is up next.
Next, another. Oh, here we go again. This fight was delayed, I believe. Tai Tuivasa had some visa issues, I believe. I also think he had some non-vaccinated issues, which led to his visa issues. So props to him for holding out, doing the thing. And I think he should be all set now. The UFC is going to take care of him. He's had more time to settle his debt. Well, and while we're talking about it, who do you think wins that fight? It's pretty much a pick 'em, right?
I want to say Sakai. I think
he's just
Sakai.
got, higher level experience and fought high level competition, but Tuivasa always has that bomb, and he doesn't get knocked out. Like, he'll get knocked down and stop because he gets knocked down and has no gas tank. So, how your chin weighs heavily on your gas tank, but no one really is laying a big bomb on Tuivasa's chin and putting him out. And I don't see Sakai being that guy, but I definitely see Tuivasa doing that to Sakai.
Yeah, I agree with that. And we saw it in the Greg Hardy. Greg Hardy rocked him, and all of a sudden, fast forward 6 seconds, and Hardy's basically on a stretcher. And Ty's quietly on a 3-fight win and finish streak. Not the best names at all, but nonetheless.
Well, I think the UFC tried to springboard him too fast and gave him two bigger fights too quick.
ADS, Ivanov, and Spivak. Spivak sucked, though.
Yeah. Next fight's a banger, dude, and I was honestly surprised at its placement on the card.
Pedro and Dominic.
Dude, what a cool fucking fight. Scary fight for Cruz, in my opinion. It's a pick'em. And I just think that Cruz, his legs are so fucking questionable, and Pedro throws such fucking hard leg kicks. That has to be his strategy coming into this. Absolutely has to be.
I'm telling you right now, I'm placing a parlay on this card. There's too much. Off the bat, before we even finish the card, going Pedro. I'm going to go Miranda. I'm going to go Andre. And I'm going to go Costa. And that's not even going through the rest of the card yet. I love Pedro in this fight, dude. And I hate that. I've grown to love Dominic Cruz from in the cage to color commentary. But like you said, dude, between his leg kicks and then Dominic Cruz's legs go, he doesn't have that movement. And all of a sudden, you're getting hit with Pedro Munoz's bomb, which he has and Cruz doesn't. So I think this is key. The only route I think is if he gets his footwork going early, avoids all the leg kicks and just pot shots him like Dominic Cruz. But I just don't see Munoz.
Yeah, I think Munoz is kind of easily beatable. Like, you kind of know what he's going to do. He delivers the same thing every time.
Yeah,
Cruz is almost crazy. Cruz has been fighting forever, but it's just more of a question mark, right? Like, injury wise. Also, he's so inactive. Like, what's he changing? What's his game plan coming in? Where's his heart at? Where's his head at? He's a fighter, through and through, though. So I'm not too worried about him. Number 8 versus number 9. This has big, the winner of this fight is going to get a big fucking fight next. And I think the way I'm looking at this for the UFC is it's a win-win. Munoz beats Cruz. He gets that star power and, reestablishes himself in the division. If Cruz wins, he fucking reestablishes himself in the division. Who does not want Cruz?
Cruz came off of a layoff and beat Casey Kenny. I thought that was the right split decision completely. And that was
I totally thought he won, yeah.
That was a guy that up until that point, aside from a hiccup against was on a pretty decent sized fucking run. And even after Marab won 3 straight against another one of Nathaniel Wood. So he met up with a veteran at the wrong time. He was coming back motivated off of a layoff. We saw what he's still capable of. So let's see, man. I mean, I would love to see another Dominic Cruz run. Doesn't that go back to what we were just talking about with like Aldo? I'm completely here for it. I just don't see it. Next up, and Dan Egan. It's a fun fight that's not going to distance.
Yeah. What are the odds on that? On the fight going distance?
Going distance?
No, not going distance, I'm saying.
I'd have to pull it up. I could do it right now while you're talking.
Yeah. So, dude, Josh Emmett obviously packs the bigger punch. Both these guys have good cardio. They both showed they can go the distance. They both have high level competition. Josh Emmett just seems to be dude. He packs a big punch. Like, I don't want to keep harping on that. Dan Ige, I feel like, overperformed in the UFC, and Josh Emmett performed well. That whole Jeremy Stevens fiasco was just a nightmare. Was that the elbow and the knee? Was he down? Was he not? That kind of just completely stopped his momentum, because it looked like Josh Emmett was on his way to just being main event after main event. But I mean, the Shane Burgos fight of the year, round of the year candidates, where Dan Ige is kind of just almost too tough for his own good, fighting these high level guys and just losing decisions or taking a lot of damage. And I could see him, finally, Josh Emmett's right hand finally being the maker that puts Dan Ige down. So I don't know what your take is on it, but I think Josh Emmett, the line here is relatively close. I think they have it right. And I just see Josh Emmett winning here.
So very surprised, actually. It's a good thing you had me look this up because I'm surprised with the line. Over 2.5 rounds is minus 205.
Like I was saying, dude, that's why I just think I think Dan Ige is just friggin' too tough. He's never been stopped. You know what I mean? I think Josh Emmett could definitely be the guy to do it, but Ige just his chin's great. He's Korean Zombie, Gavin Tucker, Cater, Barbosa, Bektik. Like he's fighting these guys that are, they pack a shot, and he's done, just fine with them. I mean, losing decisions, but losing a decision to Cater is pretty big deal. Pretty fucking big deal. That was a main event.
Josh Emmett's just like, he just hits so fucking hard. He's on a 3-fight win streak again too. I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, he's coming right back.
It feels like the Jeremy Stevens obliteration happened yesterday.
Dude, that was years ago.
Lost that random split decision. We were at this fight, I think, weren't we? Desmond, when he lost that random fight to Desmond Green.
Wasn't that his UFC debut?
It was Desmond Green's debut.
Oh, yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, because we were there and we were in New York and everybody there was rooting for him because
his
New York.
family was right near us, remember?
Yeah, we were screaming horrible things.
Don't say we.
At least I
was. Yeah. Oh my God.
I'm going to go dude, though.
Definitely, me as well. Dude, main event or main card time. Sean O'Malley's right here, right? So I just wanted to jump in here. What I said about Dominic Cruz, I was surprised. So my initial thought, I saw Dominic Cruz like second from the top on the prelims. So I was kind of like, damn, okay, I get it, sort of. Obviously, and then Sean O'Malley doubled down on what I said and said, there's a reason why I'm on the main card and Dominic Cruz isn't. And he's right. The UFC obviously thinks he's going to sell more tickets, more pay-per-views than Cruz is. I get it. And it's crazy fighting guys like Raulian Paiva. Raulian Paiva's got a big opportunity here. His last fight, he just showed how fucking tough he is and put himself in this spot. I think that was a little bit fluky and that should have almost never happened. And I think Sean O'Malley's just a little bit more calculated and is going to roll here, get another win. And Paiva, believe it or not, is number 15. So with the win here, Sean O'Malley's fucking ranked.
I remember I just said I don't remember the last time I bet a full line. This actually might have been it. I had everything I owned on Kyler Phillips and endured that decision loss after that first full-blown 10-8.
Kyler Phillips was my lock on the podcast.
Yeah, but nonetheless, I going with Paiva here.
Really?
Yeah, I'm going. This is my test for O'Malley. That is how low I when. This is going to be a fight. This isn't going to be like the last fight where it was Sean O'Malley showcasing that his striking is against a guy with green hair. This is going to be a dogfight, I think. And it's going to take place on the feet the whole time, obviously. No one's shooting takedowns here. And you know what? If he comes out of a war somewhat unscathed and not limping and needing a stretcher because of shitty shins, then I was wrong. But until then, man, I saw how game Paiva was.
Yeah.
I'm not, especially with, I might toss him on a parlay at juice, man. After that Kyler Phillips fight, bro, you're telling me like, I don't know. He definitely has more dog in him than O'Malley does. And if this fight goes to that point, I'm not trusting O'Malley.
Oh, there's no question, dude. O'Malley, I feel like does not. I've said it numerous times in the podcast. I feel like he does not have a dog in him, but I think he's just a little too clean for Raulian. I think that O'Malley is too talented for Raulian to the point where he can make it not be a dogfight. He can make it clean and keep his distance and just beat Paiva. He's just that much better. I'm looking at Paiva. I just pulled up Paiva's record because I want to see what he's done since he fought KKF, being that he's on his card as well. So he lost the split decision to Carl Franz after, coming out of the Contender Series. Bontarine beat him by doctor stoppage, but that was the cut. Okay, so we'll just basically wipe that away. He's on a 3-fight win streak. Mark De La Rosa, super. Zala Sumagulov, super. And then Kyler Phillips was, props to him. Fight of the night, absolute dogfight. We just talked about it. I don't need to repeat that. Whatever Kyler Phillips, super legit, awesome. Kyler Phillips, I think, took it for granted and came in supremely overconfident. I think if he had that one back, he wins it easily. So with the honestly, this might be a fucking worse what's the less talented resume than O'Malley has, and that's saying a lot. So
yeah, fuck it, man. We're always going. I gotta go mix the dog in here once in a while.
You have to.
Yeah, but I can tell you one. Definitely not going to be on this next fight.
Just waiting to see what you're going to say. Here, you just do it. You go off.
No, I think he's going to win. Like, and I like KKF a lot. I think
I was just saying, tell the fans who him is.
Carl Franz. I like him a lot. I usually root for him. I usually root for him when he's fighting. But you know, if you've watched this podcast for more than like a week, you would know that there's no way I'm ever picking against Cody Garbrandt. I don't know how this weight cut is going to affect him, because we saw his problems at a heavier weight was his chin. Usually going down in weight, I don't think that should help that too much. But again, Carl Franz really doesn't have flash knockout power. Cody does. I'm curious to see how that translate at a lesser weight. If, you know, maybe him not carrying as much weight, he hits less as hard. But I don't think that's going to be the case, man. I think he's going to be, as long as he makes weight clean, which I'm really curious to see, I think he's going to be a problem with this division. As long as that chin holds up, man, he 100% hits harder than everybody in that division right off the bat.
I agree. And it's your Cody Garbrandt, right? Like he could basically fight for the title with a win. You know, he almost had the, what'd you say?
Nothing.
He just has that star power to the point where he almost fought Davison Figueiredo right off the bat. You know what I mean? Like that fight was basically set until he fought Moreno, and then Moreno did Moreno things, and now they're fighting for a third time, but it's neither here nor there. Carl Franz, have you seen, dude, both of their Instagrams, they both look like they're in great shape. Cody, I remember when he fought Cruz and won, and he was with his wife and they were eating s'mores during fight week. Cody ate a s'more, right? Who's eating s'mores, cutting weight for a championship fight? I think Cody is, I think he'll make weight pretty easily, because I don't think he really had to cut to make 135. He's not that big, dude. So I don't think he'll have a problem. Carl Franz has got some legitimate experience in the UFC. Looking at his record, let me pull it up. Elias Garcia, okay. Raulian Paiva, okay. Mark De La Rosa, okay. But then Moreno, he fought but lost. Tyson Nam, Brandon Royval fought, lost, and then Bontarine. So he's got some good experience, legit experience, but it just seems like when he fights, you know, top level guys, Moreno being the champion, Royval fighting at a high level, he comes up a little short.
Remember
so
how
we'll see.
Out two against Carl Franz, against Moreno, and he gassed?
Dude.
Came out firing that first round, won the first round handedly. He actually hurt Moreno, and then he just gassed the last 2 rounds.
You can count on Moreno never tiring or gassing out, though.
Exactly. That's why he lost.
Yeah. So I don't know. Cody in his last fight did not look good. He just looked like he was, it almost looked like Cody was doing his absolute best to not get knocked out, but not fight back. Like he just wanted to be like, hey, look, I didn't get knocked. Like tell everyone, hey, look, I didn't get knocked out. Like he went on the skid, right? It was Dillashaw, and then Munoz. Then he won that fight against the Sun Sal, which was a complete setup fight. And then fought a tough Rob Font and got the shit beat out of him. So I'm just like,
that like he knew he was leaving the division and he had 1 foot out. Like fuck this.
I don't know. He's lost 4 of his last 5.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
You know, if you're not Cody Garbrandt, you're not the UFC.
Yeah, exactly. Who are you going with?
I'm still taking Garbrandt. I just love to play devil's advocate with Garbrandt because I just don't know where he's at, dude. I don't know. This fight is going to be extremely telling. And you know what's fucking crazy? I said it already, but I'm going to say it again. It's crazy because there's all these questions around Cody. It's fucking insane, right? He's going to go down here. If he wins pretty much any other way if he wins by stoppage in any way, he's going to fight for the belt, I think.
I agree.
Right? Or a title eliminator next fight, and we're questioning him. You know what I mean? But I think him versus Figueiredo will be a terrible matchup for him because I think, you know.
That's the worst division. Granted, it's a light division, but if you pick the matchup I don't want to see, it's that one.
Yeah. We'll see, dude. It's going to be interesting. I think this fight's going to be extremely, extremely telling. So I'm rooting for Cody. I'm in his, I hope he wins. I love Carl Franz, so it's not a slight towards him, but we'll see, bro.
Next up, I'm surprised. I get they're bigger guys, but I'm surprised this fight is where it is hard.
I guess they're expecting a stoppage.
Yeah, but next up we got Santiago Ponzinibbio and Mr. DUI.
as Mike Perry would say, Geoff.
Yeah, Geoff Neal and Jeff Neal. I don't know what to think about this fight, man, because you saw Li Jiang knock Pons out, but that was when he was coming back off of a crazy layoff. He was really sick. He lost a lot of weight. He's basically a depleted human, and came back and Li Jingliang put it on him. But then he turns around and fights Miguel Baeza, who has a lot of hype behind him, and he pretty much little boyed him 3 rounds. So it's hard to get a read on where a guy that is 35 years old is going to be for this fight. And especially on the flip side, Jeff Neal hasn't been the best recently either. Split unanimous decision loss to Neal, lost to Stephen Thompson. These are 2 guys that just absolutely throw fucking bombs, dude. I don't know. What are you thinking here? I would probably lean Neal.
Hang on, Matt. Hang on 1 second.
You're good. Yeah, so I'll keep going. I would lead Jeff Neal here. With Ponzinibbio, it's really hard to get a read on where his head's going to be at, where his body's going to be at. Like I said, he's 35 years old. He's had some serious health issues. They seem to be behind him, though. Even in his last fight against Baeza, man, I think it was more an experience factor that led him to that victory than it was him being a better mixed martial artist. It's a really hard fight to call. And I mean, look at the odds right now. The best price you're getting on DraftKings is -130 for Ponzinibbio. I'm looking across the board. No other sports book is offering anywhere in that -120, -120. If you use FanDuel, you're getting the same odds as DraftKings. And then Jeff Neal, the best price you're getting with him is DraftKings +110, and then FanDuel +104. For the play here, we're continuing in this great pricing narrative that we seem to have built up for this card. I'm going to go Jeff Neal with the plus money. I'm telling you guys, like I want to put a parlay together right now between Neal, Garbrandt. Yeah, I'm telling our listeners right now, I'm looking at a nice parlay with these prices. Get Jeff Neal, Garbrandt, going right down the line here. These are like that's basically, man. You could get a serious fucking payout.
Dude, so let me say what I was going to say and add on what you were going to say. Sorry, the bathroom, everything going on here. There's construction, horrible timing as always. Anyway, Jeff Neal and Ponzinibbio, I don't know. I obviously didn't hear what you said about them. Ponzinibbio obviously came off that, he's been hurt. He's been unlucky with injuries, got knocked out by Li Jingliang. Jeff Neal, obviously coming off the Wonder Boy loss, which was supposed to springboard him to the top of the division. They're meeting at a crossroads here, even money. And dude, Jeff Neal just got arrested, right? So he's in jail. That definitely fucking affects your training regimen, your weight cut. You know what I mean? So who knows? And he was drunk. So also, I think they said I think he was under the legal limit, but was impaired. So I don't know the full story, so I don't want to talk on it. I'm just looking back and forth. Like, I'm gonna take Jeff Neal. Honestly, I don't know who you said. You did too. I think I would ride with Jeff Neal here. Ponzinibbio, just even though Jeff Neal has a lot of question marks in this camp specifically, I think Ponzinibbio has more overall. So I ride with Jeff Neal and bouncing off what you said with the odds, dude. All the odds are super razor close or widespread, which gives you throw an underdog in there, and these even money payouts are just. You put a couple of those together and your plus odds are real fucking high. Damn, dude. There really is so many. Like Cody's a small favorite. So if big risk, big gain. Jeff Neal's even fucking money. It's crazy, dude.
DraftKings are getting +110.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Okay, well, next after that fight.
Yeah, dude. Do you have any faith in Jillian Robertson at all? None.
No. Fuck no.
Dude, I've been buying into her hype. I've bought into it for a long time. And you know what sucks for Juliana Pena? She was really, 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 really the number one person calling out Ronda Rousey. Every time she got a fucking microphone in her face, she's calling out Rousey. Calling out Rousey, calling out Rousey, calling out Rousey. And I think that would have been a good fucking fight for her in hindsight. She could have been champ. And then she was calling out Holly Holm. And she's been calling out Amanda Nunes at every fucking instant. She went to a press conference and asked Dana White where Amanda was. Like, she's, you know, she wants this fight more than anyone. She wanted to the belt more than anyone, in my opinion. And Amanda Nunes definitely has 1 foot in, 1 foot out. It just seems like she's coming in. You know, she pulled out of her last fight. Now she's back, and she has to make 135. I just think at plus 600, it's worth at least, you know, $20 on Pena. But I think Amanda's going to beat the living shit out of her. Yes, because Amanda's grappling is just as good, if not better. And on the feet, they're light years apart. So
Pena just got submitted not too long ago. Kickboxer. Miranda choked her out.
That was fucking crazy. And she also got submitted by what's her name? Shevchenko, but that's not, you know.
And your win to springboard you to a title, Sarah McMahon. She shouldn't even be on the roster.
Yeah. Well, and you know what? Pena's good on the mic, dude. Pena, you know, she was like, Sarah McMahon's best wrestler in this division. Look what I just did, blah, blah, blah. She is a really good wrestler. I don't know if she's the best wrestler in the division. I mean, you know, she probably is I mean, she wrestled in the Olympics, so I get it, but she's also like 40 years old, maybe even older. So,
yeah. I wish we had this Leon Edwards fight.
Yeah.
Pressing. He's like holding up the division.
It's not his fault, though, dude. What the fuck do you want him to do?
I don't know. Fight somebody.
He should. That's the thing. Like, he is being a pussy about that type of stuff, but like, it's not his fault, dude. Like, Woodley, you know, he couldn't fight Woodley because of the overseas thing. Then he got cut from this UFC. Then he was going to fight Hamzat. Then Hamzat got sick. Then he's supposed to fight Masvidal. Masvidal pulls out. He fights. He's the unluckiest person in the world. He was 30 seconds away from a title shot, and then he gets wobbled by Nate Diaz.
And Nate Diaz never wobbled somebody like that before, ever.
Dude, Nate Diaz wobbled him, and Nate Diaz got the shit beat out of him for 24 and a half minutes and came out of that fight like the winner. True or false?
No, you're right, bro. Literally stopped him from getting a title shot because they're like, wow, yeah, we can't get after that.
And dude, people talk about Nate like, oh, dude, Nate takes all the hardest fights. Nate is going to be the main event, if not the co-main event of a pay-per-view in this very next fight. So
I think I'm just salty that they're not Chimaev here, man. I want to see him fight.
Yeah.
What he's going to do next. But the moment we've all been waiting for, I'm not waiting for it. I don't want to watch the fight. Dustin Poirier versus Charles Dubronx Oliveira. Minus 160 for Dustin.
Poirier is minus 160. That's fucking crazy.
Minus 170 is FanDuel, 160, 165 PM. And for Oliveira, the best price you're getting is DraftKings plus 140. It's fucking weird. FanDuel has him plus 138, but Poirier is the bigger favorite with FanDuel. I don't know how that. But dude, this fight is so hard. It's so hard.
Charles Oliveira absolutely proved me wrong. I'm just gonna jump in here, dude. You were high on him ever since he beat Will Brooks. I was high on him, but not as high as you, and you were obviously right. It's also crazy. These are two guys, most fights ever combined in a UFC title fight. They've both been through the absolute fucking ringer, highest to highs, lowest to lows, overcame adversity. Here we are for the belt. And Poirier, it just seems like, again, dude, it just seems like one of those things where not one person is picking Charles Oliveira, and he's the fucking champ.
It's, if you look at this fight objectively, not objectively, what do you look at from like an analysis perspective? Like, Dustin's a better boxer. Like, just break it down. Yes, Dustin's a better boxer. Charles probably more diverse of a striker, probably going to throw more kicks and shit. Charles definitely the better grappler. Not even close. Better wrestler, Charles Oliveira double-legged Michael Chandler. Like, how do you look at this fight and justify him as I'm going to root for Dustin, I think. I just don't understand how. The only advantage I see Poirier having, and it's not even like a sold thing, if this fight gets down and dirty, man, we know his heart is unmatched, not only in this division, but the whole roster, in my opinion. Like, he's gonna fucking dig deep.
I don't know.
That's what do that, but Oliveira's coasting, absolutely coasting. He hasn't had a hard fight in years.
He lost. The last fight he lost was to Paul Felder in 2017.
Yeah, like he doesn't just win; he wins dominant.
Match their resumes. Like recently, like I said, I am totally sold on Oliveira. I cannot say a fucking thing. I still remember the 2016 Oliveira where he was losing every fight, and getting choked out. Pettis, Ricardo Lamas. I remember that. Oliveira. But now, dude, he's on a run. But look, dude, Clay Guida, I always do this, but Christos Giagos, Jim Miller, David Tamer, Nick Lentz, Jared Gordon, Kevin Lee. Then his last two fights, Ferguson and Chandler. Okay, right? Super. Look at who Dustin is fighting, dude. I don't even really need to look it up, but he's fighting McGregor, Eddie Alvarez, Justin Gaethje, Max Holloway. Dude, he's fighting champions. Obviously, Khabib. He beat Pettis, if you want to do, but dude, it's a Hooker. That's right. It's just insane, dude. Insane. Obviously Dustin had that loss to Khabib, but aside from that, his last loss was Michael Johnson in 2016. I remember I almost cried with that. So these guys are just, honestly, I know people are, giving Oliveira slack saying he's not the real undisputed champ, but if two guys had to fight for the belt in the division right now, I think these are the two, right? Who else would it be?
No, I completely agree. I wouldn't.
It has to be them. It has to be them.
They're on too big of runs. And Oliveira has the belt, and Dustin deserves it, regardless of what you think of Conor. Like, dude, that's a W.
It's a W's W. It's gonna be fucking madness, dude. I'm surprised that you're not more favorite. I know you're gonna root for Dustin, but like, I know right now I'm definitely rooting for Dustin, and I feel fine. But I know when this fight's on, my heart's gonna be like.
It's gonna be one of those fights where it finishes, and no matter who their hand, I'm gonna be like, all right, I'm cool with it.
Yeah, me too. But I would much rather it be Dustin.
Oliveira, I think he's so good, and his jiu-jitsu is so entertaining. Like, he's such an active fight. It's not like a boring, slow style. What Damian Mata was. Guy's just
the way he switches from triangles to arm bars to back to a triangle to a sweep to taking your back to, and if he has your back, aside from Michael Chandler, if he gets your back, it's kind of a wrap.
Snapping Tony Ferguson's arm. Literally, Tony Ferguson's fingertips were on Oliveira's spine.
Dude, Tony Ferguson's on drugs. Then Beneil Dariush literally snapped his leg like a twig, and Tony just starts hitting him with his heel.
He's such an idiot.
He's out of his mind. He's the definite side note. Tony Ferguson literally is the toughest dude on earth. But in other news, dude, I just typed in MMA news on Google, so there's a few things I want to run through, and then we'll, skedaddle. Tommy Fury obviously pulling out of the Jake Paul fight. Woodley rematch. Woodley's plus 260. Are we laying?
I'm going to say it. I think people need to hammer that. There's no way he loses twice. There's just no fucking way. If he doesn't come out firing, if it's Woodley that we've seen, dude, but it's impossible to say. Every single fight Woodley Woodley got dominated by Usman, didn't throw a fucking punch. Same thing with Colby, same thing with Gilbert Burns. Then he fights fucking Luque, decides to throw two overhand rights. Okay, wow, you threw two overhand rights. You got fucking wobbled and choked out. Then you go and lose to Jake Paul, dude, and don't throw a punch. Like, if it's 8 rounds and he throws less than 150 punches, he's an asshole. Remember when he hurt Jake Paul and then he started walking around the ring, fucking wink, like, come on, dude.
And then he doesn't throw a punch for another 15 to 20 seconds. Like, dude, you just had him through the ropes. Throw another punch, you idiot. Swarm him. I don't know. I just thought that was atrocious. But granted, I still do think you should do that. Bellator announcing the Grand Prix, which we already had known prior to the matchup, but now it's like, wow. I really think that Bantamweight Grand Prix is going to be so fucking crazy. Just some of the names in there. You got Pettis, Juan Archuleta, Rafael Stotts, Patchy Mix, Magomedov, James Gallagher, Kyoji Horiguchi. I think Leandro Higo is going to be in it. So it's just going to be fucking crazy. We'll see if Pettis could go through, if he could go through the ringer of that Bantamweight Grand Prix and win, that would be fucking crazy.
Oh, yeah,
I see Horiguchi fighting for the belt, being in the finals for sure. I'd love to see how Patchy Mix does. I think Gallagher's in big trouble because he's not going to be able to go through the ringer of those guys. But I'll be rooting for him for sure. I'm just rambling here, but Teofimo Lopez loses his belts to George Kambosos, and Kambosos looked fucking incredible. And then it comes out after the fight, Teofimo Lopez fought with air trapped in his neck and lungs, and they said a wrong punch could have killed him on the spot. He was fighting with, basically fought a 12-round fight with what, people with asthma, worse than an asthma attack. They said it's like fighting with a 300-pound weight on your chest. And he fought like a champ and went to a split decision, 12 rounds in MSG, in the theater, but still super fucking impressive. And, hats off to him for being tough as fucking nails. Maybe they'll rematch. Maybe they won't. They'll both have a big, 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 big fight coming up next. Kambosos, fighting out of Australia. A lot of people are real big on him over there. He's undefeated. He's, our age. So, green pastures ahead for him. That's for sure. Other than that, what else, dude?
Did Jake Paul comment on the Woodley rematch, like why he said it's happening? I saw he did. I just didn't fucking watch it because I can't listen to it anymore. But now I'm curious.
He said that he basically, Woodley got the call, and Woodley was like, "Yup," right away. He said Woodley stayed ready, got the call, and just said yes right away. So they said he was the first person they called. Woodley was clamoring for it, and he also said that Fury did know. Like Jake Paul's like, I'm the one doing all the promoting. Tommy Fury's just like, I'm gonna beat him up. He can't beat me, and doing no promotion. Or Woodley's like actively going out, at least trying to promote it and trying to make a big deal. And I guess since the first one did sell a decent amount of pay-per-views, they feel like they could do it again. I do not think this sells as many pay-per-views as the first time, and I don't think that's too wild to say.
No, I don't think so either. But in Tommy Fury's defense, I believe what he was selling. Like, I'm not promoting this fucking kid like he's not a real boxer, even though that I'm technically not either, because I beat a bunch of guys whose combined record is 2-500. But yeah. I think he just didn't want to give him the attention, which I get. And I think he just wanted to go out there, put him hurting on it. And I get the mental aspect of it too. Like, dude, I'm not going to give you attention. Like, I know I'm going to beat your ass. I don't care how many people watch it. I'm just going to smash you, and that's going to be it. I feel him.
Yeah, that'll be it.
We'll have to wait to see that. Hopefully, Tyron Woodley can avenge everything for us and give Jake Paul a loss.
Please. And Jake Paul, please. That would be fantastic. I'm not one of those Jake Paul haters. I actually like what he's doing. And you know what I really thought, which I predicted, but obviously it's not remotely going to come true now. I thought he was going to fight Tommy Fury, lose, and then become his promoter and start trying to make Tommy Fury into like something. I thought that's what he was going for, but
really?
I was
like switch sides.
Like, not switch sides, but use it as an opportunity. Like, where now he has MVP promotions, and he's promoting like Amanda Serrano, who's basically the best women's boxer right now. Clarissa Shields as well, but I'm talking pound for pound. But I don't know. I just saw him, potentially using it as a springboard opportunity, maybe to promote him and get to now really be a promoter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's in the boxing world. I don't know. I could totally be wrong, but I don't really think Jake Paul's aspirations in life are to be a boxer. He's doing it. He's doing it well, but I don't think he's not going to go out there and win like a WBC title. So what's his goal? Why would with tens of millions of dollars, looking like hundreds of millions of dollars, would you be a boxer when you could just either promote it and make the same, if not more money? Not get hit, and then use Tommy Fury. He beat you, and then let him beat tomato cans for a ton of money.
Yeah, I agree.
We'll see. Who the fuck knows? But on that note, I think MMA Gossip episode number 92 is in the books. Also, I am doing 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups for 30 days. I'm on day, I don't even know what now, but December 30th will be my last day. So today is December 8th. So today will be the 9th day that I've done it, and I've done it every single day. I'm staying strong. I'm not going to fuck it up. Also, oddly enough, I thought it was going to tire me out. My bench has gone up not that it's, drastic. Maybe I just had a good day, but I felt real good the other day. Let's just put it that way.
Oh yeah, bro. Getting better every day. It's what it's all about.
MMA Gossip, episode number 92. Thanks for listening. Mike, we love you. Peace. Make sure you save this.